Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
In space, no one can hear you scream unless it is the battle cry of the Astra Militarum. Let me hear your war cry.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, Doc, great to be here.
Hey, what's up?
So hopefully I make it through this whole podcast. There's a North Carolina sandhill storm approaching because weather. But anyways, that caveat aside, if I disappear or go silent,
yeah,
we send a search.
That's pretty
Don't
common.
let the cats eat me.
I mean, they will. Butthole first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, just no fucking doubt. Oh man, today we met 15 minutes early and play tested our possible new format, the before the after hours.
What's the name? What's the code name for that again?
The pre-game show, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. So we did a little recording.
Work on that.
That's coming soon. Like it's going to be an even more exclusive. You know, how many times do we come in on this show, guys, and be like, "Man, you guys missed a 15-minute conversation where Mike Haspel was going off on JJ." You know, like, so we're gonna start incorporating a new piece of content into the exclusivity of our supporters. In addition to this, so that's an exciting new development.
I'm stoked.
Wyatt talked a lot about Marvel Crisis Protocol.
I did.
I fixed my lights.
You did a lot of mood lighting stuff in the backgrounds.
I think it looks good.
I think a lot of what we're going to see in the pre-game show is like...
Is Rob being super vain about his definitely okay lighting situation every time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my skin sparkles a lot.
And yeah, that's because you're a vampire. We know.
I feel like nobody wants to see that.
I mean, sure. I understand that you feel that way, and I validate that.
I'm trying to bring good production quality to this ensemble.
I do appreciate that. Thank you. I'm just saying, you guys may see some of that. You may just see like that for 15 minutes while...
Or cats talking, chirping, meowing.
Yeah. No doubt. But so today, we're going to talk about some of the new Grey Knight mechanics. We're going to discover why they're OP and you need to be playing them today. Which is, I think, the name of this live stream, as we're doing it live across multiple platforms and recording it. But first, let's kick it over to Wyatt and roll out to his Cave of Wonders for a joke.
Would you rather only be able to communicate in memes or only be able to see in 240p resolution?
Damn.
What's 240p? Which one's that?
It's
the worst one, dude.
You mean like a YouTube video at 240p?
He doesn't get no lower P's than that.
Oh, it's not like the Game Boy, like green. What's that?
No. That's like 16-bit. No.
How's that? How many P's is that?
Probably 16. If I were to imagine if they're keeping the same math.
Well, one of them is how many colors. One of them is screen resolution. How many?
I mean, I don't know how that shit is.
He's
not a screenologist, bro.
It's terrible. Right.
I'm going to look it up. I need an informed.
I had to. I was thinking about it, and I was like, 240p. Do I even remember what 240p is like? And I set a YouTube video to 240p, and I was like, oh, okay.
They still sell monitors in 240p.
Shit, he's like, damn, this monitor is 240p.
Oh, it's for the old Xbox, Wii, GameCube, and N64.
Damn.
Oh, maybe it's like a retro screen with RGB cable ports.
It's crazy.
It's like the old arcade machines.
Yeah.
Like Pac-Man.
Not so much.
That's what this says.
Well, yeah, again, that's the resolution. That's the actual. That's like the measurement.
Really were in that resolution. I mean, yeah.
You can be that P and be presented with a 16 bits of color, for sure. But it's a lack of resolution, is what you do. Right now, you basically see beyond 4K. Like if your vision is good, like you see in a clarity that we are constantly seeking to attain through new and improved computer screens and shit, you know?
Well, I feel like there's only like so many pixels there's a finite number of pixels that can be in an area, right? Like you can't put more pixels. They just won't fit. They're only so big, right? So
Right.
like the human eye can only see so many of these things.
And it's
right?
actually 240 is the range. Just like Zenwu brought that up too. It's like that's the field of your conscious vision. So it really determined, like, as long as you can still see and perceive, you know, colors, and you might lose resolution. Like, you know, like you're going to zoom in on a model with your new 240p eyes that can never perceive more information. You might have a resolution issue. You know, like no matter how many jeweler's eyes you put on, it just blows out more and more pixels. You know,
you can have 20/20 vision, but you're still going to see the world in 240p res. Like glasses and contacts will not help this.
a lizard's vision's already limited to 240p. And Dank Memes on Facebook is like, I already communicate via memes.
I'm researching this.
I don't know why you need, like, I'm just telling you, if you want to know the intent of this.
It's a digital output, Rob. So you're going to be perceiving.
Load up a video on YouTube, click it to 240p and try to watch that shit.
And imagine now you have like a visor on that funnels everything into that digital output. And that's how you perceive.
I feel like I get annoyed at this.
Yeah. But you can only communicate by memes is your other opportunity. So like, I think that I would take being vision impaired and still be able to communicate properly. Because I feel like that I could still do something, even though like it would definitely change the way I do my job and the way I paint, the way I instruct. I think I can find a style that sits well with it. You know, I think I can adjust my life, but like if I could only communicate memes, first off, I'm gonna get murdered pretty quick. Like I'm not gonna last very long. You know what I'm saying? Like don't think about like your loved ones and the people who are close to you. Like how long are you really gonna last? Like,
oh, I can do this all day. I literally add like gigs of cat memes. There's a cat meme for every occasion.
Yeah, but like you're communicating to me about how many memes you use without using a meme. Think about how hard this is gonna get. How crazy is this gonna get?
I mean, it's hard to...
You'd have to put a meme up or act out a meme, I'm assuming, to explain to me how hard this is.
You just carry around, like you could run DMC a monitor around your neck and just have it ready to go. Wear the power glove. You can like queue up memes. Our phone, like we have these phones now that are fancy. Mm-hmm. You can just be like, boop, boop.
Yeah. Rob, what do you want for breakfast? And then you gotta explain. You gotta send me back a meme, dog. I don't think it's gonna last. I don't think you're gonna make it.
I don't know.
Could you create new memes to help yourself communicate?
No, you have to use. If new memes are generated, you can use those. But you cannot create them yourself. That's cheating. Because you could just have a picture of like Rob's dumb face with like multiple different types of very specific sentences on it.
So you can only use cultural
because
memes
like,
that exist that continuously update.
It's like the reference and transference of ideas through references and pictures and in like the like subtext of different.
So you're basically barred from making memes.
Yeah. But if you see a new spicy one, you can add that to your vocabulary, so to speak.
Oh, I like that. Someone in chat says, "Can you pay someone to make memes?"
No,
but you sure? But you have to communicate to them without making memes.
How to make the memes?
That you need them to make memes, and that you're going to pay them for it. Like I would say, let it ride. Good luck. Try to figure that out.
Haspel keeps Shaka when the walls fell.
Yeah.
guess that's sort of
I mean, Picard almost died though. Like
that's true.
Like, and he's not allowed to die because he has plot armor. So like, you would just die. Think about it.
Yeah.
Like, he had to die to like be able to communicate with this guy's memes.
Yeah, that might not work out.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck, dude. Just take the take the Buster Vision.
Just take the visor. Just take the 240p visor.
Yeah, take the 240 visor.
And I can see the radiation. Can see everything.
Yeah.
Got X-ray vision.
Yeah, man. Fucking, there's a lot of artifacting happening around your face, Wyatt. Like, what's going on here? You okay? Are you currently frowning at me? I don't pick up on social cues anymore. I apologize.
Talk like Birdman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Wait, is Rick and Morty still? Is that the right? Am I in the right decade? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know. I don't know what to talk about. Talk about the wrong things.
All right. Well, why don't you do some news then? Talk about the right things. Be
Hold on, I have
professional.
Post-its. I have a question for you. Is this too many Post-its?
I've seen more.
I mean,
This is what's on my desk.
the fact that they are in no way color coded or organized.
Well, no, some of them are scratched out. See,
How many Post-its have invalidated Post-its that you haven't thrown out yet? Or are these still
I
on?
think I need to collate a few things here. I need to go through.
Yeah.
When you get to that place, and you know that place, when you get to the place where stickies stop mattering again, that's when it's too many stickies.
I feel like
also-
outside of like in my head, there's like a wall just outside of frame in front of Rob's desk that is his like yarn and sticky note Pepe Sylvia conspiracy map.
Yeah, it's his
check it out.
serial killer plot.
That's how he runs.
Can I show you this? I don't know. I don't know if you can see it now. So I actually have Post-its on sticking underneath the monitor. And
I mean, that's the answer. When the stickies stop being stickies, when you're just writing things down and putting them up and never looking at them again, that's when it's too many stickies. Which you know there's a moment when that occurs.
okay. Yeah, I might have a problem.
Like if you have like a sticky that's been there for 3 weeks that you no longer acknowledge as being relevant, but you still refuse to throw it out because you haven't completed the task, too many stickies. We've all been there.
Yeah, this one could probably. I'm going to throw this one out.
Yep. That's the right decision.
Okay, we're good.
Congratulations.
All right, I think. Hold on, I just lost my. Oh, here it is.
He's
okay,
like-
yep. I almost lost the news.
Oh my god.
Okay. So new release wise from Games Workshop.
Are you reading a sticky right now?
No, this is more of a points. These are the points, and I fill in with this.
Okay.
So new release wise, Kill Team is still up for pre-order. Actually, I lied. It is not up. I checked it this morning at like 7 a.m. and I was like, that's weird. Kill Team's still up for pre-order. And then I checked again an hour later and it was sold out. But at both instances, they had 2 Kill Teams up on the website. One was pre-order. One was made to order, going to be fulfilled in 180 days, 6 months away. So I don't know if it actually sold out, but within an hour of me looking at it this morning, it became sold out. So you're going to have to pick it up from your local game store or do the made to order this week. It will be in stores on the 28th of this month. But something else going to pre-order on this Saturday is the new Bandai Primaris Gravis Captain that I don't think they ever sold separately in miniature form. So
that's the joke. Is the only way to get them separately is to buy the Bandai fig
for $100. Well, we don't know he's going to be $100. They were $100 in the past. We assume he's going to be $100. I think we got a post going out tomorrow on Spiky Bits, which will be Thursday, going over the prices, the values of the current Bandai Space Marines, which is actually kind of shocking. I already sold mine on eBay because I was like, that's just a ridiculous price. You got to go. You got to go right now because I cannot have something multiple hundreds of dollars sitting next to my $20 McFarlane the Space Marine. I'm just like, this goes. It's just silly. So if you have the Ultramarine, the original one that came out September of 2020,
I do.
Huh?
I do.
You might want to sell it.
No.
Then don't. They actually sent me an extra because I think they messed up with their shipping because it was when all the COVID stuff was popping off. And then they sent out an email. They're like, we shipped you one on mistake. We'll send you a call tag. And I was like, fine, I will send it back so some hobbyist doesn't get screwed out of this. But I don't appreciate your tenor of your email. It's not well written, but whatever. We did it because I don't want to. I would feel bad if somebody else missed out on something dope because I didn't want to send it back. So that's pretty cool. So look for that. Hopefully we'll hear more about it tomorrow. I imagine GW will have a post about it, but if not, supposedly it goes up on Saturday. Last time they were limited to 9,000. Don't know if that's going to be the case this time. They were shockingly still available because I remember pre-ordering it. I think me and Haskell pre-ordered it at the same time. I was like, yo, dog, this is still up for pre-order like the next day. And Haskell was like, oh crap. And he got one and I got one like right around the same time. So hopefully the queue is in effect and it's all good.
I wonder if maybe they played their hand a little bit too early because these are basically a pre-order, right? Like every time, but it's like, why would I get the new White Scars Bandai one for $100 and wait a year when I could just go to Walmart, get the $20 unpainted McFarlane figure and just paint it as a White Scar myself. I've seen, as far as like seeing stuff online and then just people that I know, like they have skipped out on ever getting the Bandai once again because they can just collect 5 McFarlane figs for the same price and have them instantly.
Exactly.
I like the McFarlane figs even more.
I think they're great.
I like the proportions of them, and I like the price. Like they're my favorite ones.
Yep. So just look for that. If it's your thing, it's your thing. I bought it to review it because I was like genuinely interested in it, and it was dope. I don't know if it's worth $100. To me, it was not worth $100, but I didn't feel like it was crap either. You know what I mean? But if I had my choice, I'm going to spend $20.
I think the fit and finish is better on the Bandai ones. One of the things that bothered me about the McFarlane ones is just flat paint, nothing extra, and they kept all of the injection mold seams and everything on there, like no cleanup afterwards.
I'm not really sure. There was a slight glue mark somewhere on mine. I do remember that. I was like, that's weird. I wonder if they assembled part of this in the factory. But it was great craftsmanship. Obviously a premium product for a premium price. Wasn't mad about that. It's just not for me. Just not for me. But I could see where this one would be dope. I'm probably going to try to get one just to again review it and see how dope it is. But from the looks of it, it's got some really intricate detailing on it. So
yeah, it looks cool.
Super stoked on that. So that's kind of your G-Dub fix for this week. Now, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag quite yet. But you're probably going to hear some stuff about some Orc Boys soon. There's probably going to be a little bit of drama about it. But
oh, you don't say.
Everybody just keep in mind, just vote with your hobby dollars. It's all good. I hope I hope the Orcs are still a good big release for everybody, and I'm going to be very interested to see what the thoughts are.
Are you just going to be coy about this?
I'm not going to talk about it yet. No, I'm just going to let everybody know. Be on the lookout.
You can't do that to me, Rob. You can't get me all juiced up like that and then not tell me. Oh my God.
I just don't want. I need to confirm a few things, but I think Orc players are going to be a little
polarized
over this.
Man, they fucking cried a river in Orktober when we got like 6 new vehicle kits and a new Codex. So like,
it's not like it's nothing unprecedented. It's nothing GW hasn't done before. It's just going to be very unexpected to a lot of people, I think. And I feel like Orc players are a very passionate lot. And I feel like they have waited a long time for an update to certain models. And I just think this is a very poor way for potentially a very poor way for GW.
I think I may have already predicted what you might be talking about. Like, are they going to lock the new Orc Boy kit into the Get Started box? It's the only way to get a hold of them.
Or the Black Templar box or whatever.
No. They're like in the Combat Patrol box. I guess what they're calling Get Started now. It's the Combat Patrol box. which they show in the Codex. They show a picture of the Combat Patrol.
There is
which is like the new War Boss in Mega Armor.
I get
3 new Def Coptas and the new Orc Boys.
I guarantee they're going to be locked in a box then. Like, that's got to be what Rob's talking about.
It's almost like those are all the new Orc models for regular Orcs besides the terrain piece, all in one box. Huh.
I mean, I just anticipated that's how they were going to do it until later, because as soon as I opened the Codex and I saw the Combat Patrol and it showed those new models that way, I was like, okay, they're going to do this and people are going to get upset. But it's like, why get upset? If you want just the Orc War Boss, it's going to be on fucking eBay for like $30. Like, why are you upset?
I think people just get upset in general these days over there. Well, it's everybody's very passionate about everything. And, it's so easy to fall into that kind of trap of, I don't know, just maybe commenting perhaps before you really kind of think things through, because you're so passionate about these certain things. And when you see these certain things getting attacked, whether it's true or not, like, oh, my favorite YouTube channel is quitting. GW shut them down. Well, did GW shut them down?
Yeah. I mean, if it's your reaction, it's your reaction.
Yeah. And I get that. And
I would say, like, look at it from the perspective of, it's like, is this a problem that you can solve? Like, if the problem that you've identified is that you can't get your orcs, can you solve that? Is that what you're reacting to? Or are you reacting to the decisions of something that a company that you have no control over made? Then my advice there would be like, probably try not to get too reactive on things that are out of your control. But if there's a way to use that reaction to control your circumstances and get what you want, which is those fucking Orc Boys, put your energy there and get them.
It's the same thing when the Beast Snagger box came out. I was like, I want 9 Squig Hog Boys.
Bro, we used to only get cultists in that one box, remember?
Yeah.
I still had 200. Right? I got 200.
Like, I'll just wait, right? Or you have people that are going to get it and don't want certain things. Like, okay, so Rob, you're getting a box. Okay, like, can I have those? Cool, thanks, man. And then the other 3, it's like, oh, they're $40 on eBay for the 3 of them. Cool, problem solved. No stress whatsoever. Yeah,
I think that's the big thing. Is people are going to get, if they want something, they're going to get it. It's where there's a will, there's a way. And I think, I think it's just good to have, new models, just in general for any faction. Ask Eldar players. They would be like, oh no, it sounds terrible. Can we have a new aspects, please? But I just kind of wanted to warn everybody. It might be a little salt in the seas coming up soon. But that's basically all I have to say about it. We'll be putting out some content about
sailing the salty seas with Captain Badrug.
Yeah, and the freebooters. Nerf put out not Nerf, I guess Hasbro put out a new pre-order. It's a replica M41A blaster from Aliens, which, besides being yellow, caution yellow and everything, because that's how you have to make guns these days that are toys. It's pretty close to like the ones from the movie, and it's even got like the digital readout.
So are they telling you to basically mask off the readout and spray paint that bitch up?
It depends on where you're going to go. What event? Certain events have certain rules, as we recently found out. But
I think you have to
I don't see why not.
Keep the orange. If it's like a
I think it's just
keep the orange tip. Yeah. And I don't think very many people even have an issue with that sort of stuff. If you're cosplaying, like, they kind of all know the game.
Yeah, they know, like, no edges, edge guards, orange tips.
Yeah. So that's pretty dope. It's over on Hasbro Pulse. I think it's $100 some.
But I think it's probably going to be a garage kit. More of that. More instead of like a cosplayer, it's going to be more like people who want to stick replicas in their Beats lab. They get this like incredible frame to convert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I bet you Mike Casper already ordered like 4.
I think he said he ordered.
Oh, he already has like a perfect.
Well, he does.
Like frame accurate one or film accurate one.
He does, and it beeps and everything, and it's like ridiculous.
Yeah. He's like, he had some. He was like, I built one from scratch like 5 years ago.
Oh, then my bad. He's definitely not going to buy one. I mean, he's also got a fully functioning like Ecto Trap, and he still bought the Hasbro
Proton Pack. Yeah.
And he made his own Proton Pack, and he has the Ghost Trap, and then he bought the Hasbro Ghost Trap. Like, so he's still.
I still cannot get over the fact that the actual prop is brown and not green. Like, that blew my mind when I learned that. Because the paint they used is like out of production or something. I remember watching a video where Adam Savage is working on was doing a pulse rifle, and he's like, actual movie prop. It's this specific shade of brown. It's like brown Betty, or I forget what it is, but
Brown Best is White Haspel and
Brown Best. Yeah. And I was like, get the fuck out of there. It's brown. In like every screen grab of that movie, you're like, that is green. There's no way that's actually brown. But yep.
Mike Haspel also in chat confirms he bought it. He bought that.
Yeah, he did. It looks dope.
It's tight.
Yeah.
I mean, he has more than one Conan sword, more than one version of Sting in his Beats Lab, more than one version of a map of Middle Earth. I mean, the guy, if it's tight and it's related to his passion and it's prop related, he's going to get it. That's how it works. He's got more than one Enterprise.
If they're still selling it when I get my house, I might buy one and repaint it just to put on the wall. Like that.
You'll be able to get them from the secondary sellers and such. I did want to talk about another game too, but I almost forgot a preview for the best game that you're currently not playing, and that is Titanicus.
Oh, we got a Titanicus update? All right, timer's back on.
There it is. So the War Master Iconoclast Heavy Battle Titan, which is basically a close combat version of the War Master that came out in January, was previewed from Games Workshop. It's got a very large sword and a super punchy fist. Basically looks more like a chunky Jaeger than. But
its hand is like the size of another Titan, though, right?
I mean, yeah, technically.
What does it punch?
I don't know, other Titans.
I mean, but like it steps on other Titans. What is it punching? Like, what is it grappling with? Like, I don't know.
Other bigger Titans.
Other Titans.
Larger Titans. There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, there's.
I'm not going to lie. One of my viewers, Mo's Magic, shout out to him on Twitch. He hasn't revealed it to you yet. I keep asking him, but he's been working on like a massive Titanicus force for months. And he's been airbrushed and taping, caution stripes, like sig bases, glowy effects, everything you could think of paint wise. And he's like, going to reveal it to you soon. But like seeing that project come together and seeing the girth of a Titanicus force, like well curated and done, is pretty fucking hype. Like, it does look pretty fucking sick. Like, I can't hate. If I saw that, if that was my first introduction to Titanicus, I walked in and somebody had that force on the table, I might consider it. I wouldn't turn my nose at it. So I'm giving you that, Rob. It's sick.
That's fair. Thanks. It also has a ginormous close combat sword. It's basically this thing.
I can see this sword like smash. Like it makes more sense if it was like a big fucking hammer though, because I feel like he would just decimate cities. Like yeah. Why is it a sword?
Why not, man?
It's 40K.
I mean, it should just be like honestly, like just a humongous set of chains with anchors or some shit on them. Maybe just destroy things with that shit at that scale.
I mean, you pretty much could. I guess it's for punching other armor. I don't know. I don't ask these sort of questions.
I mean, I don't care how big your armor is. When something as equally big and with as much mass hits you, like you're going down for the count, dog. Like,
oh, for sure.
This is one punch Titan fights here, dude. This is like
you're forgetting one of the prime principles of 40K, and physics don't exist.
Yeah,
40K universe,
especially because they said it was 100 tons. This Titan is 100 tons, and then there was all these comments about how that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Well, for instance, it's the same thing in BattleTech and MechWarrior. It's like, oh, this like 25 ton mech, and you're just like, it can't happen. It doesn't physically. Yeah, but it's sci-fi. Different universe means different laws of physics. You can't compare it to ours.
Yeah. This makes any sense. But anyways, that should be coming out. Remember, the previous one was $160. It's basically the same size as a Knight in 40K. It's mostly on a similar size base because they would have had to make new templates for the game if they put it on a bigger base. So it's on the Oval, the Dread Knight base, basically. So it looks a little it looks a little weird on its base, but I get it. Like I am mad at it because there's no sense making more work for him. But I imagine it's going to be out in the next 3 months or so, which is pretty exciting. Still waiting on that Plastic Thunderhawk.
Yeah, I mean, when Rob left Titanicus to play Protocol, they lost a fifth of their player base, so they can't afford to they just can't afford to be like making new templates for that game
It's
right
true.
now.
Yeah.
It's true. How many? I need 3. Ship it. Speaking of Marvel Crisis Protocol, they unveiled the new Hulkbuster suit for Iron Man. It's a 1-box kit, 1 card, but 2 models inside. So
Yeah, you get Tony and what is it, like the Mark 6, Mark 7 armor looks like?
I want to say it's 7, but I'm not
Mark 7
super
armor.
into all the marks.
I'd have to look at I haven't looked at the small Tony. I only looked at the Hulkbuster.
It's
Hulkbuster,
pretty fresh.
when the unique Hulkbuster came out, like Monsters of Madness or Mutants of Madness set, HeroClix, it was very hype, and I got one. Did a repaint, but it wasn't like it had a good combat dial, but it also had like some issues, like its actual hit power score, like its strength characteristic was kind of average. And I remember in the competitive scene, people didn't care about it, and I was all about coming up with like scenarios to play these fucking ballers that worked. I had an Apocalypse team. I remember going to a tournament and beating like the 3 guys who were like first, second, and third at the Orlando like WizKids event with an Apocalypse squad. And then I did the same thing with that fucking Hulkbuster squad. Cause I was like, if you play for the love, just like Street Fighter, you'll make that shit work.
Yeah. We've already been having discussions about like, oh, what's the power level going to be? It's like, oh, well, it can't be 6 because the Hulk is sick. And the Hulkbuster armor is weaker than the Hulk. And I'm like, it's not really how this game works, though. Like, Magneto is a 6, and he's definitely not as strong as the Hulk.
Yeah. But but as a planet-wide threat, he could be as devastating. He could be.
Oh, yeah. And it's like a frame captured pose from the movie where he's like flying up through the air, about to just like slam overhead punch the Hulk. Like, it's such a great looking model. I'm so stoked for it.
God, I need it.
And it's apparently I saw a screen cap of them painting it, and it's basically the same size as Dormammu.
Yeah.
So
really?
it looks to be on a 65 millimeter base. Well, he's kind of jumping in the air too.
Yeah.
So,
he's got like the repulsor blast coming out of his feet with some
swooshes,
some smoke clouds. Yeah, it looks so cool.
So I'm super stoked for that. Hopefully, I think it is on Asmodee's site right now for pre-order. I don't know exactly when it's going to come out, but they keep the release dates keep sliding, so it kind of doesn't matter at this point. Like,
yeah, I'm still waiting on my Blade and Moon Knight pre-order to come in. Like, come on.
Yeah, I think the dates kind of slid here in the States. It was supposed to be October 1st.
Really, I thought it was September. Yeah.
It was September for other countries.
Asmodee, get your shit together.
It's just the ports are a mess right now, so I get it, unfortunately. Some other big news stuff that I feel like we should at least talk about real quick. The Imperium magazine went on pre-order officially in the UK. They say it was going up on the 23rd or 25th, but they sent out an email before the Warhammer community article because I had signed up for it already to get the emails, and it was live. Like, it's live right now. If you're in the UK or Ireland, you can sign up for it till your heart's content. I heard from a pretty reliable source that it will be live in the States in January. So if you're looking to scoop up all those sweet models, a lot of it is stuff that already came out Dark Imperium era, but I mean, there's good value there for sure. And now you can like supersize it and you get like Orcs or Tau or, some others, faction. I think there was a Chaos one too. So I'm like, there's kind of something for everybody if you're, willing to throw down $10 a month on it. It's going to be interesting
also
to see.
Less than a week away from the launch of Warhammer Plus.
Yeah, I believe that comes out the 25th as well.
It's a Wednesday. So probably next episode, it'll be like, oh, Warhammer Plus launch, how'd it go? So like, we'll see. But
I mean, at face value, I think it's got a lot of good value with all the stuff that's included in it.
I think I'm going to buy a year subscription just to spite a lot of these like man children that have been whining about all this stuff for the past month. I can't get away from it. So
I think that Vindicari Assassin looks pretty dope.
It does look cool. I think I'm going to go for the orc guy, honestly.
He also looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that new like mega boss looks sick.
And we also saw the White Dwarf in Walmart the other day. So now Walmart here in the States apparently is stocking White Dwarf. So
Interesting.
if you're out picking up groceries and you're like, oh dang, I missed the last episode of or last issue of White Dwarf.
So beyond like us, because like we absorb that content because like we're in it, right? I think having it on those like magazine shelves at a Walmart in front of the checkout counter is a really good idea because it's only $7.99, right?
I think it's $9 now. I don't. I didn't
last time I bought one, it was $7.99. But it's a good place to have one, especially if you have a young adult, teenager, young kid, or something like that. They're like, oh, can I have this magazine? This looks really cool. It's only like $9 right there at the counter. Like that's good for business.
Between that and the McFarlane figures in the toy aisle, a lot of potential to get new hobbyists at least interested in what this whole Warhammer thing is, and hopefully into local game stores and potentially, hitting the tabletops in the near future. They're also at Books A Million. I haven't seen them at Barnes & Noble yet, but I haven't really been to Barnes & Noble in a while. So if anybody sees it there, send me a pic.
Barnes and what?
Yeah. When was the last time
Noble
physical Barnes?
What is it?
It may have been a legit decade since I've been inside of Barnes & Noble.
Well, it doesn't help that the only two around here are like an hour from me in both directions. So I don't go there quite often, unfortunately. But it'd be kind of interesting. So, if you're looking for a magazine, you're like, crap, my local game stores, GW doesn't have the latest hours. If you have a GW store in your area, you can always hit up one of those big box stores and potentially
more likely you can hit the Walmart. And if you can't hit the Walmart, find one of these mythic Barnes and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this right. Nobels.
It's not GameStop. Come on, man.
It's not. So that's GameStop fucking filthy rich.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
God, sometimes I wake up and I regret not jumping into that when I could have.
My boy made like 20 G's in like 16 minutes, dude.
See, yeah, and that's what I know because like I had a friend who does stocks a lot, and he was like, you could do this. Like it's probably going to go up. And I'm like, what's the volatility on it? And he's like, oh, incredibly volatile. This could go south.
Yeah.
Literal hours. And I was like, oh, I really want to, but it would have been super irresponsible of me.
I really want to, but I'm a fucking scrub and I'm afraid. That was my
well, yeah. So it's like me. I was like, how much would I make if this keeps going up if I put in like 5 G's like right now? And he's like, oh, you could like buy your house for cash if it works out. I was like, oh, I really want to. Like that part of my brain that loves playing roulette is like, ooh, but I could not make that decision.
Look, if this starts happening with Barnes and Nobles, I'm in. I'm not going to make this mistake twice.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if they stock White Dwarf, it'll contribute to it. Who knows? Hard to say, but that's pretty much all I'm tracking this week as far as news goes. Hopefully, we have quite a bit still on deck from Games Workshop. We'll probably put out a roadmap post here soon, but still a lot of new AOS, Cruel Boys, Stormcast. I think they got 8 releases now each. Stormcast might have 9 with the 2 different dragons. The Aeronautical Imperialis, a lot of Necromunda as well. Trying to think. I think that's all the big stuff. Of course, Orcs, we know what's coming. Black Templars, gonna have that army box, so who knows what else might be in there. And I think that's all the juicy stuff, at least that we have mostly confirmed.
I like their roadmap was basically stuff that we already knew about, and then 2 things that we don't know about, and like they didn't even show anything off. So it's a great roadmap.
Word on the street is the Golden Boys and the Gene Stealer Call.
Ooh, that would be interesting because I constantly think about getting into Custodes.
December might be the month for you, sir.
Yeah. It's gonna
Merry Christmas.
Hopefully it'll be like your Grey Knights, or won't be like your Grey Knights. Speaking of which, Grey Knights. Look at Grey Knights. Great. Let's fucking do it. Let's jump into it.
Real quick before then, SoCal Open tickets are on sale right now. So go check it out if that's something you want to go do. Because I'll be there. I think Kenny's going to be there, right? You're going to be there?
99%. It depends.
99%. Kenny's going to be there.
He pulls his beehole muscle again.
Our friends from Dice Check are going to be there. So it'll be.
Well, they always do it like that Halloween days before it or days after it. So it's really going to. Oh, I'm getting a phone call from a Scam Likely in North Carolina.
Oh, damn.
Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, these guys are the only dudes who checked on me every day during lockdown. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Did they tell you about your car warranty or your...
I mean, he did. Every time. I mean, like, I almost kind of want to answer because I feel kind of bad. Like, now that, like, shit's getting back to normal, I'm like, oh, fuck this guy again. But, like, he was there for me, man. Same guy, Chapel Hills, North Carolina.
I'm sure that's where they're calling from.
I mean, yeah. Anyway.
Because the gray nights.
Let's jump into the meat potato. SoCal Open. We'll see if I go. I don't know, but I know Wyatt's going to be there. It's going to be fucking
You can drive there, right?
Oh yeah, dude. It's like San Diego, man.
That's what he always does. Like he always just drives there.
It's like right there, dude.
No, I mean from anywhere, like the East Coast.
Sure, you can absolutely physically do that. So I think it's about 36-hour drive for you.
That's like just 3 days.
Yeah,
2 days, 2.5 days.
It's a serious fucking commitment, but I mean, it's also in San Diego. You can just fucking fly there.
Yeah, it's really easy.
I don't know.
It's a really nice venue. It's always been popping. It's one of the best fucking events, for sure. But anyway, Grey Knights. Let's do this. Let's talk about why Grey Knights are so fucking powerful on the tabletop, and they're gonna change the world.
I feel like that lead-in was a little over the top.
Okay, let's talk about why Grey Knights are here.
Oh, cool.
All right, so got some detachment abilities. Everything is busted up by detachment. So interesting thing about this codex, and I noticed, is that your like Brotherhood stuff. They got these new Brotherhoods that are like your Space Marine chapters, that kind of thing. They're all done by detachment. So if you wanted to have a Battleforged army of Imperium stuff and put Grey Knights into there, you wouldn't get tides, but you get everything else, which is actually kind of interesting. So if you don't care too much about tides, you can still use Grey Knights as a pretty good supplement force. They added in the ruling of only X number of Grandmasters and Brother Captains. So you can have...
Pretty common.
Maximum of one Grandmaster and one Brother Captain model in each detachment. And if you have more than them, so you have up to 3 detachments, right? You can have 3 Grandmasters, but they all have to be from a different Brotherhood. So you have to do, 1, 2, 3 different Brotherhoods if you want to. They also have the Aegis, which is a 5-up Field Pain against mortal wounds. Pretty solid.
All mortal wounds or psychic mortal wounds?
Mortal wound.
That's not bad.
Yep.
Oh.
And then they all get +1 to deny damage. Pretty cool. So the new thing with these Brotherhoods is they each get a Warlord trait and a Psychic power and a Stratagem. And I believe the Brotherhood units innately know their Brotherhood Psychic power on top of any other spells they would have access to. So you have the Sword Bearers, and their Psychic power is this Empiric Lodestone. So they would know that on top of Smite and any other powers that you would take with them. They have a Stratagem that's a 2 CP +1 to hit stratagem. Pretty handy. The Psychic power is a +1 to wound for a vehicle unit in the shooting phase. It's pretty nice.
+1 to wounds are powerful. That's sick.
And then they've got a Psychic action Warlord trait that lets a vehicle within 12 of the Warlord get a 4-up impulse save for the round. Pretty nice.
Can we circle back to that mortal wound real quick just to confirm that it's not a psychic mortal wound? Because someone in chat just mentioned it. Reliable person. Because
each time a model in this unit would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, roll 1d6. On a 5-up, that wound is not lost.
You also get +1 to deny to witch.
That's what I said.
Yeah, just double check because a lot of times these guys they lock it behind like some like almost non-existent mortal wound type. Like that's like for example, Custodes is psychic.
Custodes.
Yeah, I'm not riffing here. I have this pulled up in front of me.
It's fucking pretty solid.
I also have it. Can't confirm.
Let's see. So we got the next guys were the Blades of Victory. Sounds cool. They got this Radiant Strike stratagem. Sorry. Use it in your charge phase when a core infantry unit from your army finishes a charge move. Select one enemy unit with an engagement range. Roll 1d6 for each model. In that Blades of Victory unit that is within engagement range, you got to equal or exceed the toughness value, and you do a mortal wound for each one of those.
Oh, it's neat because a lot of people, it's like roll a flat number, right? So there's that number can be based on factors. So like obviously if you run into a unit with a lot of weaker guys.
Yeah, especially like 10-man strike squad charging in there. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty fun, cool.
Because there's no maximum to this. It's just every guy that's in engagement range.
Yeah, that's the condition, right? But even a 5, which would be pretty common, is a very solid number to roll to do a free mortal, or not a free.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good.
They've got the Inescapable Pursuit Psychic Power, which is a blessing. Reroll charge rolls made for this Psychers unit.
I mean, very synergetic for the close combat mortal wounds guys.
Then they've got the Warlord trait Vanguard Aggression. After deployment, you can select one friendly Blades of Victory core unit within 9 inches of this Warlord. This Warlord and the selected unit can each make a normal move of 6 inches.
Just like a free move?
Yeah, it's a normal move of up to 6 inches. So, for instance, if you were on like a Dread Knight, I think they move 8, something like that, right? Or 12. Only up to 6.
And who's affected by this Warlord trait again?
Blades of Victory Brotherhood core units.
Core units? Okay.
Yeah, so the Warlord and one core unit can do it.
Again, very synergetic with their style. All right.
We've got the Word Makers. And they got the Masters of the Word. And it's a command phase stratagem. Select one character unit from your army and select one psychic power from the Dominus discipline. That model does not know to replace one of your psychic powers that it does. This has got to be a typo. Select one psychic power from the Dominus discipline. That model does not know to replace one of the psychic powers that it does.
That doesn't seem good words.
That's that does not make sense to me. Kind of weird. They might have to fix that in FAQ. They've got the Projection of Purity psychic power. It's a malediction. Let's see. Select one enemy unit within 12 until the start of your next psychic phase. That unit is not affected by aura abilities of models from its own army.
Huh.
That's a handy one.
Aura manipulation.
We've got the Lore Master Warlord trait. Each time a psychic test is taken, if the result of that test is an unmodified result of 8 or more, and it was greater than or equal to that power's warp charge value, your opponent cannot attempt to deny that power.
Some hot, solid utility.
Mm-hmm. We've got the Prescient Brethren. They have the Foresight stratagem for 1 CP. It's in the shooting phase when a psyker unit from your army is selected to shoot, or in the fight phase until the end of the phase. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack reroll, a hit roll of 1, and a reroll a wound roll of 1.
Wait, both?
Yeah, it's hits and wounds of 1.
All models?
It's when you select it to shoot or fight one unit.
Like every attack, every wound from that whole unit?
Yeah. But rerolls a 1.
Yeah. I'm just, and it's also 1 CP, you said?
Yeah, it's 1 CP for a psyker unit, right? So you can't do it on like a Land Raider.
And it works for shooting and a close combat. That's I like that one.
It is a very solid stratagem. It's easily spammable.
Mm-hmm.
Then they've got the Fatal Precognition Psychic Power. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 12. Until the start of your next psychic phase, each time that enemy unit makes a normal move, advances, falls back, or makes a charge move, roll 1d6. On a 4 or 5, that enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. And on a 6, that enemy unit suffers 3 mortal wounds. A unit can only be selected for this psychic power once per phase.
All right. Oh, it's all right.
And they have the Divination Warlord trait. It can perform a psychic action, which is called Divination. This Warlord can attempt to perform this psychic action. If completed, you gain 1 CP.
Oh, shit. So these guys get the reroll hits and wounds stratagem and the get CP back?
Yeah.
Psychic power action? Okay.
Although it is a psychic action, which
means you can't advance or attack or shoot yourself.
Yeah.
So there's a condition.
You can move, but you can't advance.
Can't advance, yeah.
Yeah. And then
you can't be in an engagement range, else. You can't shoot, you can move.
But it's handy, like pretty useful, I think.
I mean, especially if you're walking this unit up, spending a CP, making it do its thug life, and then you get your CP back every fucking turn.
Yeah.
Kind of a little built-in wombo combo. Very nice. And the names are righteous. These ones are like precognition.
The prescient brethren. Yeah. So that's cool.
I like that.
Let's see. We got the Preservers. They have a Charge of the Ancients stratagem. Before the battle, when you muster your army, select one dreadnought from your army. That model has a move characteristic of 8 inches. You can reroll charge rolls for that model. And each time it fights, if it made a charge move this turn, then until the fight is resolved, add 1 to the damage characteristic of melee weapons that model is equipped with. You can only use it once unless you are playing Onslaught Battle, in which case you can use it twice.
So you can make one dreadnought slightly better.
Yes. You got to remember, though, like they don't get Contemptors, Leviathans, Doritos, like none of that shit. They get like the basic bitch dreadnought and dread knights. That's it.
Yeah. Not impressed, but yeah, continue with these guys. See these guys turn it around.
They got the Aegis Eternal Psychic Power. It's a blessing. If manifested until the start of your next psychic phase, each time a model in this Psyker's unit would lose a wound, roll a d6. On a 6, that wound is not lost. While this Psyker's unit is within 3 inches of a friendly apothecary, if this Psyker's unit is infantry, it becomes a 5-up film of pain. So if an infantry unit is next to an apothecary, they get a 5-up film of pain, and then all the other Psyker units get a 6-up.
It's a powerful damage mitigator. Okay, so they got like one of the powerful damage mitigators locked behind the dumb dreadnought one. Okay. Yeah.
Then they got the Radiant Exemplar Warlord trait. Add 3 inches to the range of this Warlord's aura abilities to a maximum of 12.
Can the Warlord be the apothecary, or is he like an upgrade for a paladin unit?
Oh, that I don't. I think a Green Knight Apothecary is a separate data sheet.
Is he an elite like character?
Yeah.
Okay. If that's the case, they've locked the dumb dreadnought one.
So I mean,
yeah, I mean, like
when you start thinking about list building and stuff, right? Like let's just say you want 3 Grandmaster Dreadknights. You have to have 3 different brotherhoods for each detachment, right? So having this guy in a Preserver's detachment with some paladins or your heavy weapons guys or something to keep those alive, it's a solid strat.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. Like, especially if he it's all synergetic. If he's like, my apothecary one is 6-inch bubble, and I do this thing, and my guys have a 5-up field of pain, and they're my paladins, and they do this. Like, so like I had a suspicion. I was like, damn, this is a dumb dreadnought one. What is in it? What are they forcing me to take in here? Ooh. Okay.
That's just a stratagem. I mean, that's their Brotherhood stratagem, and you still have all
the other stratagems. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if they're wasting my stratagem. It's fine.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of talk about this Brotherhood. It's the Rapiers. They've got the Deadly Efficiency Stratagem. Use this stratagem in the fight phase when a Rapier's unit from your army is selected to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores 1 additional hit. Mm-hmm. So 1 CP exploding 6s. And they've got the Psychic Power Symphonic Strike. If manifested until the start of your next psychic phase, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of models in the Psyker's unit.
How synergetic.
Yep. And then they have the Warlord trait, Inescapable Wrath. This Warlord is eligible.
Wait. When it says in a Psyker's unit, that means it's going to have to be like some captain cast this, or some sergeant does, right?
Well, the entire unit is a Psyker unit.
Right. But it says in this Psyker's unit, that means it's not a librarian able to put it on a unit.
Yeah, this Psyker's unit, it's a self-blessing.
So
let's just say you have your unit of paladins, like they would cast this on themselves.
They would cast it on themselves. Got it.
Yes. So the Warlord for Inescapable Wrath is you can charge even if they advance. It's a charge.
So highly aggressive. Mm-hmm. Highly fucking DPS centric.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talks with there's ways to create like a really ball and out of control Grandmaster Dread Knight with like 4 up invul saves and can advance and charge, fall back, do all.
Hell, you can give him a 3 up invul.
Yeah, it's.
Well, technically for one phase, is it a phase with the gem?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
It's like a one-use thing.
Right. And so outside of slight datasheet changes, slight weapon changes, slight changes to tides, like if you're a Grey Knights player, you're going to read into those anyways. But the other big kind of mechanical change is they have these Wisdom of the Prognosticars, which are 2 tables of points upgrades for characters.
Ooh, yeah, let's talk about that.
It's important to note there is some stipulations to this. You could only have 1 from either of these tables on a character. They do not count as relics because some of these are sort of like an item kind of thing they can do, but they don't count as relics. And then there was one other thing. No named characters, obviously. Oh, you can't have multiples of them is the other one. So if I were to take the Augury of Aggression, you can't have 5 of those. Like it's one and done. A lot of these are pretty wordy. So just know that they're points upgrades you can put on characters. A lot of the visions of the Augurum table are once per battle type things. So I mentioned it before. We'll just do Augury of Aggression. So once per battle, when a friendly Grey Knight's core or Grey Knight's character unit within 12 inches of this model is selected to fire Overwatch, this model can experience this vision. If it does, then until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an Overwatch attack, it hits on 4s instead of 6s. All right. So it's a lot of that. Like it's there's a redeploy.
So yeah, this is the war gear upgrade table that has been very common.
Yeah. And they have the gifts of the Prescient. And a lot of these are more itemized type things. And again, kind of once per battle type deals. Like the True Name Shard is one of the gifts. Start of the fight phase, you can select 1 enemy demon unit within 6 of the bearer. That unit is not eligible to fight this phase after all eligible units from your army have done so. So super strong rule, kind of plays into the new I fight first, you fight last.
Yeah, and they've clarified that thing. Specific wording too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that is pretty handy, especially if you go, balls deep with Morty. You're like, oh, well, no, Morty, you fight last, son. Like that's a handy little save. So if you're into Grey Knights or you're looking to get into Grey Knights, this is something you should probably study for your list building, or if there's Grey Knight players in your local scene, you should probably want to look into some of these once per game kind of deals, because most people would probably save these for very specific moments. You want to watch out for them.
Yeah. I mean, you got to buy them and you got to predict in your tournament, like what the known threats are, but how reasonable are they priced? How much is that demon?
Most of them are going to be 15 or so. I think the average is like 15. There's some are 10, some are 15. Then a few of them go to 20 and 30. So the average across all of these is.
Give me an example 15. Of a 30.
A 30 is the redeploy one, the foretelling of Locust. It's a 3-unit redeploy. And if you want to put stuff into strategic reserve, using this redeploy, it costs no CP.
Okay.
So that's a 30 once per battle kind of thing.
So it's kind of like, it's 30 points and you can use it to actually put 3 units of strategic reserves for no CP.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's a way that's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah. The redeploy stratagem that a lot of armies have is so good in and of itself. And so this being 30 points on a character, it's a little hefty for points.
But it doesn't take up a warlord trait. It doesn't take up a command points.
Yes, it does not take up a relic slot.
Yeah.
And so just having that 30-point tax for
I'd buy it. Yeah, I tell people all the time, if you break down, like if you give me like a street value of like command points, like, and then you give me a point ability to buy some, I would buy some.
Yeah, because it just lets you do a lot of things with important units. Like I can deploy conservatively and, I'm going second. Maybe I pull some of these other units in because now I know that I'm going second. Or I'm going first. Now I'm going to take those power units that I deploy conservatively. I'm going to put them as close to the line as possible so I can get some first turn shenanigans going on.
Letting us buy these things lets us have more stacks, more combos.
Yes.
I like
very
that.
Solid, very solid. We do have the tides.
Big changes?
I think somewhat like small changes due to 9th edition stuff. So
can we still push and pull back the tides in the?
And go to the psychic table. It was that's the warp shaping, right? That was the one. If manifest and select one tide of the warp that has not been dominant during this battle. Your army's currently dominant tide of the warp's changed to the selected tide of the warp.
Yeah, Drago can get that.
Although
Drago's a baller.
I almost want to say that the tides are like once per game now.
Yeah, like I'm like that's
kind of no takesy backsies. I don't think.
So it's not like you live in it, because before it was like you count as it being one tide further, and then you can pull it back, so you can kind of keep hovering in the psychic tide, then back to the shooting tide. So are these like one and dones now? Like, yeah, break that down. That's a big change if that's the case.
So this is the like all or nothing, all Grey Knights ability, right? At the start of the first battle round, choose which of the tides is currently dominant. The dominant tide can subsequently be changed using the warp shaping psychic power. The available tides are as follows, right? It talks about them. And then, like we read in the warp shaping thing, it says you can change it to one that has not been active yet.
So that's it. So once it's been active, it's cached.
Yeah.
But you can live in the active one for more than one.
While. Yeah. So there might be stratagems like, without doing like a super deep dive and getting into baseball stats, like that's.
So, I assume we still have like the good shooting one that does extra side damage.
Yeah. Shadows is still there. It's been updated for 90. So you get light cover outside of 12 inches. And if you're in cover, you get dense cover. So it's +1 to your save and then -1 to be hit. Right.
Is there a mortal wound one or a psychic power one now or still?
The escalation, I believe, is that one. Already been attempted. So it's like a casting one, and then there's celerity is like a newer one. That's where when it's dominant, each time an advance roll is made, the lowest it can be is 3. And the same thing for when you roll charges. When you roll charge dice, the lowest result can only be a 3.
Oh, interesting. So in a pinch, you warp shape to unfailable charges and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. There's the tide of convergence, which a lot of people have been talking about because there's a weird order of interactions thing going on of how certain combos deal damage, because the convergence thing is like dealing mortal wounds on top of normal damage. And then there's other stratagem related things that also do that. And so it's like, well, how does this apply? Can you actually stack these?
Yeah, because GW has kind of made a point of taking those out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's quite a few things that people have already been talking about in this codex that are going to need a day one FAQ.
Yeah, guys, remember the Chain Lord when we got that update for the Black Legion supplement, it was a new relic chainsword that did a mortal wound on a roll of 6. That was just simply being stacked with an old ass fucking warlord trait that nobody really took, Flames of Spite, which says you did a mortal wound on a 6. And it literally had the same rule. So you had a sword that was a reasonable, standard, dope, 2 damage, -2 chainsword that also gave you D3 extra attacks instead of like 1 extra attack. But because these 2 rules are identical in 8th edition, you're like, yeah, so when he rolls a 6, he does 2 mortal wounds. And then because it's not unmodified, and you see how like GW's fixed that wording, you can manipulate it. So there's a way to get it to a 4. So you would have this like torpedo 70-point character that would run into a combat, always wound on 2s, and every 4 did 2 mortal wounds on top of normal damage. So like it was pretty. They were like, okay, you know what? We're kind of not liking this interaction. So that's kind of been a precedent they've been establishing. I would be very happy if Grey Knights got to keep it though. With their limited force and their limited, like, I'd like them to be able to stack some heinous shit, man. Fuck,
I definitely foresee a lot of the same sort of kind of order of these, like, start out in Tide of Shadows, like every game, and then kind of do a Tide of Escalation when you're within range of your psychic abilities, because it's a big wordy thing, but it lets you cast psychic powers more than once with an escalating cost.
Like Smite.
Yeah. So it kind of breaks the core rules of like.
No wonder some of those things you mentioned earlier mentioned that caveat.
It's a whole thing. it's a little complicated. And then going into like Convergence when you're doing your shooting attacks, and then Tide of Celerity when you're ready to charge, like that sort of thing.
So you could absolutely do the psychic powers, some of those deadly psychic powers, like you can build that into your game plan for multiple units.
There are certain powers that'll let you cast multiple times, and then other ones have that thing where it's like can only be cast once per phase, or only be targeted.
Yeah, and that like mediocre mortal wound one had that wording.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, we'll see. I mean, I think it's pretty exciting. There's some serious wombo combos in there. Like you could definitely do some pretty sick shit with some beefy units. I like the resiliency of this, like, and the synergy of that Feel No Pain combo we just
for sure.
Like, but I also like the DPS strategy, right? But I like DPS strategies that like are forced into one roll less. Mm-hmm. So I more like the one that is 1 CP to reroll, 1's to hit and 1's to wound. That's fight phase or shooting phase. I like that one a lot.
Right.
But I do really love this, like, if I have a Feel No Pain, man, like on a fucking Paladin squad, like just built in.
There's a lot of play with a lot of these Brotherhoods, especially if you want to kind of cover your bases and be like, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 different Brotherhoods with, different abilities, kind of speccing into what works best with certain units. So like the Preservers would be great for Paladin units so that you want to keep alive and get stuck in, stuff like that. And I was reading through this a little bit before the podcast, and not a super deep dive, but from what I've been seeing and from what other people have been talking about, I kind of tend to agree with some of the prevailing opinions from like Dice Check, where they're like, this isn't an S tier codex. Like I could see somebody who's already top 10%, top 1% level of player crushing out a GT with Grey Knights, but I don't see average Joes coming in and crushing out a GT with this. But
I mean, if you get the reps with any book, you're going to
right. Yeah. So I think there might be some real veteran Grey Knight players out there. They'll do really well in their local metas. But I don't see Grey Knights like crushing a major anytime soon, unless it's, I don't know, Richard Siegler comes in with Grey Knights. You could probably crush out a major with Grey Knights.
Wait, Paladins don't get Brotherhood traits?
But I would say solid B plus, A minus.
So Paladins are not Brotherhood traits because they're Honored Knights or whatever?
They're actually already plugged into a Brotherhood. The Honored Knights, I think.
Dicks.
Yeah, they're Honored Knights.
Yeah, one of the main reasons that I decided to not really get into this as like something that I want to play is that it's actually pretty complicated, and something that's complicated to me may not be complicated to somebody else, right? But for me personally, I was like, this is a lot more complicated stuff than I like. to play, especially if it's really complicated order of operations in the psychic phase. That's something that I don't like to play.
Just got to get your butt scrap flow chart.
Yeah, it doesn't help me. I'm not great at it's a weak point in my game, and it's something that I choose specifically that not to work on because I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Well, I mean, it's interesting. I agree with you. I agree with your analysis of it. I'll wait to see some new combos drop, but like, it seems good. It seems powerful. It seems like it can catch people with some wombo combos. Some cool shit they didn't think of through complex combinations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I'm down. I think it's cool, but like I'm a little disappointed by that. I'm still reeling from this paladin thing. Like, but there's lots of other cool units. Like there's purgation squads and shit like that. Like there's all sorts of powerful shooty elements, and so I'm excited. Like I have the code, so I need to like just download it. And
yeah, I mean, Haspel is hyped for this book.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Grey Knight veteran players, they're probably looking at this and already like,
it's better than what they've had in a long time.
We have a friend of mine here locally that's a Grey Knights, like all day, every day kind of guy. And he's super stoked about it. And in his hands, great book, right? Easily into that slides into that A tier. Right now, if it's somebody who's never played Grey Knights before and they hop on this because it's like an elite army with few models and they got the new hotness, like probably going to be like B minus because it's so complicated and it still kind of falls apart under certain things. So it's like, I think it's good. Like if I was a Grey Knight player, I would be happy with this book because it's on the strong side.
Yeah,
but it's not on the OP gonna get heavily nerfed.
It's not on the Mechanicum side. Yeah, no doubt. Thanks for the breakdown, man. Feel like we did some good content today. Rob, thank you for your professionalism as always. See you over there scribbling away some stickies. I just saw that you threw away a bunch of stickies. Are you re-sticking right now?
I don't have to answer that. I know my Fifth Amendment rights.
Rob's stickies are like tribbles. They self-multiply.
He's probably getting
all sorts of, look, I got colors. I got halvesies. Yo, you want the halvesies? You want the berry flavored? I got the berry flavored.
I feel like he probably gave himself sticky anxiety by throwing out bits of stickies when we pressured him earlier, and now he's like rewriting them.
I'm just looking through the Codex actually.
Oh man. Well, anyway, man, I think we gotta shut it down. What do you think, Wyatt?
Rob?
So that's it for this one. For exclusive content, early access videos, become a veteran of the Long War today.